Welcome to Discovering. Tonight, we'll take a look at the dedication of a new ATV trail.
We need to continue to add great connections, and this is another case of doing that.
Then we're going fishing with Gatlin and Peyton.
I do like sports, but I gotta say I like fishing more.
Lots of our kids in the school just play video games while we're here fishing.
Stick around, that's all tonight, right here on Discovering.
The secret streams that flow beneath the cliffs of colored stone. Forest thick and healthy with birch and pine and oak. Surrounded by the greatest lakes this world has ever known. The black bear's awesome presence as he roams the hills and fields. Call of the timber wolf, the loon's lonesome trill. The eagle soaring high above, the trout lies deep and still. These are what I treasure, the only way I measure feelings that I have for this fine land. There is so much to discover when you're a long-time lover of northern Michigan.
Michigan is the #1 trail state in the nation. Whether you're riding a side-by-side, snowmobile, or a horse, cross-country skiing, hiking, or walking your dog, you don't have to look far to find a trail in your area. I was at the Thomas St. Onge Veterans Museum in Hermansville for the dedication ceremony of the new Escanaba to Hermansville multi-use trail.
We're here today to celebrate the opening of the Hermansville to Escanaba Trail. So thanks to Governor Snyder for being here. We have Representative Bo Lefebvre here. We've got a number of local elected officials. Thank you very much for being here, and thank you for all of your effort. This is going to be a great trail, going to connect Menominee and Delta County.
Well, this is a dedication of the Escanaba to Hermansville multi-use trail, which is also serves as an ORV route, a very important ORV route that connects communities along Menominee and Delta County. It also serves as a purpose for other recreational uses, as I mentioned, with the multi-use component and non-motorized use, from equestrian use to hiking, biking, some skiing, and winter activities as well.
Because it's wonderful to be here in Hermansville. This is my first, I think, public event here in my time as governor, but I'm proud to be here. Because it's great to see how the community is rallying together and how people are working together. And it's great to see people working hard on the Escanaba end of this. Because this is about connecting Michigan. And it's wonderful to have this trail opening. One of the things we've really worked hard is to position Michigan as the trail state in the entire country. And the DNR, MDOT, a lot of wonderful people have been planning this throughout the entire state to say, how do we become more connected? I think if you look at the numbers, we're over 12,000 miles of trails within the state of Michigan. Think about that. It's not just about having a trail. It's about how it integrates into our quality of life and to our economy. One of the great economic engines up here is tourism. And one of the things that help drive that is enjoying the wonderful outdoors that we have. And what better way to enjoy it than to have something that you can walk on, you can ride on, whether it be a bike, horse, other mechanisms, these wonderful ORVs that we have an opportunity to ride around on. But we have a way to enjoy Michigan's outdoors. And that's something we need to do a better job of communicating. We need to be louder and prouder about our great natural resources and our assets, because it's only going to bring more tourists here once they have a chance.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Excellent. There, congratulations. Very nice. Good work.
It's a great opportunity, but it's also a responsibility to have this wonderful outdoor environment with us. And we have to be good stewards of that. And going back to the point of the Department of Natural Resources, we're only taking care of it for a time period. And we need to leave it in as good or better shape for the people that follow us than the way we got it. And that's a case of what we're doing today. We're dedicating a new trail, a new experience, a new way to enjoy Michigan. And so I want to thank everyone that made this happen.
a route, that we started with back in 2007 when we acquired it, and it's been a work in progress with, developing the management plan, public comment, that involved engaging the stakeholders and the public to talk about what would be the best ways to manage this corridor. And we came out with a lot of good positive support and feedback from not only the stakeholders but the public that supported a multi-use corridor. So from that point then we're looking at ways we can actually develop this corridor, and something like this that starts as an abandoned rail corridor is the rails were removed, so we just had to deal with ballast and redecking bridges, which may not sound that difficult but is quite the undertaking and quite expensive. So from the trails program, we're looking at ways that we could actually fund that, and that's kind of when ATC stepped into the picture with their proposed development for a transmission line into central Upper Michigan and points further from that. In exchange, they would construct the trail. So ATC really came in and made that happen by funding and constructing the trail part of it, doing the infrastructure needs on the bridge. We had a lot of work that we had to do to get it up to this point where we're actually able to use it right now, and a number of things, besides just helping out their company, it also helped out the public by getting this done in a quicker manner, and also save the program dollars, which is a funded program by trail users that buy the stickers. So a lot of benefits with that partnership. Another important part of this to make this happen was the work that we had from our grant sponsors and trail organizations. We had Hermansville Sportsman's Club, which was instrumental in helping out with getting gathering support for this.
We maintain 74 miles of ATV ORV trail and about 115 miles of snowmobile trail. Hermansville Sportsman's Club started the snowmobile program probably back in the late 70s, before anybody got any contracts or got paid for it. And now we get some funding for brushing and signing. It's pretty much a volunteer organization. It's an ongoing, pretty much 12 months out of the year job for our Sportsman's Club, but it's an activity that most of the members enjoy because they either snowmobile or ride their ATVs or ORVs, so it's just trying to maintain the trail system and keep it in decent shape.
Delta Sorva maintains the eastern end of this. If it wasn't for their help, we really wouldn't have been able to make this happen, because we really do need well-rounded support in order to accomplish a trail corridor like this.
Basically, Sorva Delta County was started back in 2004 with the trail in mind. That's the reason why we started a group. At that time it was Wisconsin Central. Talked to them about what they were going to do with the grade. They said it goes back to the state because it was a state right of way, so I went over to the DNR and they said, well, if somebody would form a club and turn it into a trail system. They had engineering go look at all the bridges and make sure that they could use them. It came up to millions of dollars to do this trail. All of a sudden, American Transmission Company approached the DNR and we got together and we talked, and they decided that they were going to flip the bill for almost the whole thing, except for the last leg of it that we came into the city here. And over time we had to negotiate with the city of Escanaba, with the landfill, and get the rest of the trail developed here. During the summertime, from April 1st all the way till up to December 1st, the gates will be closed, and there will be about a 70-inch width to allow just side-by-sides through. It's a limited route, so it allows bicycles, hikers, ATVs, motorcycles, and side-by-sides through. As of now, once you get on here, you can hit the Phelps Grade, you can go all the way to Norway, get into Norway, you can go all the way up to Segola, you can go from Segola now all the way to Iron River, Waters Meet, head all the way towards Houghton from there. You can get down into Wisconsin now. The only dead area that we had was the area of the Hiawatha National Forest. So what we did, we got together with the other 4 clubs and we put a whole proposal together on a GSI map, turned it into the Hiawatha National Forest. And they went through and they inventoried everything that we put on there, what we wanted for trails and that, and we're making a connection, and this is part of that. There is a developed from Gladstone over to Escanaba already, and all this will be put into play once this connection is made through, and once you hit the Hiawatha, you can go a lot of places. All the way back up towards Marquette, to Newberry, Munising, all areas, Manistee. The whole system's really getting developed. That's the whole goal of the whole thing, to get all the way to St. Agnes, Sault Ste. Marie, Ironwood, Houghton, Escanaba, Marquette, all the towns in between. I know the small towns are looking forward to it.
Well, I'm just excited that we opened up a 25-mile trail between Menominee and Delta County. We have to start building some relationships and connecting the community. I think this trail is symbolic of the work that we've got to get done, but on a more practical level, being able to go from Hermansville to Escanaba on your horse or on the bike or on your ORV is awesome for economic development and getting our communities together. I think the best part about this trail is that it's multi-use. It means that you can use your four-wheeler on it, you can ride your bike on it, you can walk it. I'm 25 years old. Most 25-year-olds would have no problem walking this path. I could do that, but I've got a disability. So if I'm going to use this trail, it's going to be on my four-wheeler. Now, of course, us young folks love ATVs and biking and stuff, but when you get to be a little bit older and you want to go back on that trail, when you get to be 50, 60, you're not really going to walk 25-mile trail. So it's great to be able to have horses on it, to have bikes and ATVs and snowmobiles when it gets cold out, because it allows people to enjoy the outdoors at any stage in life, regardless of your age, regardless of your disability. Let's get out in the great Upper Peninsula outdoors and see what Upper Michigan has to offer.
It's a great public-private partnership. We partnered with ATC, who's going to be able to provide better energy resources to Michigan by having this access, and we get a great trail out of it. And it's a trail I'm very proud of. We're the trail state in the nation, and we need to continue to add great connections, and this is another case of doing that. And I hope people get out and walk this trail, get on their bike and see this trail. We're ORVing it today, and that's exciting. There's so many ways we can use this, and then finally that snow is going to come, and hopefully there'll be some good snowmobiling on it. And it's part of Michigan, both in terms of tourism, but also a great work-live place.
Fishing is a pole, a reel, line and some bait. But most of all, it's something inside of us that makes us just want to do it over and over. I had the extreme pleasure of spending some time on a river with a couple of great fishermen who act as a true reminder of why we fish.
Oh, it was in a good spot. We don't live too far away from here, so usually we ride our bikes, and then usually we stay a couple hours, 3 or 4 hours, and usually we catch quite a bit of brookies. Usually we just use worms, but sometimes we use lures, spinners like he's using. Probably about 3 weeks ago I caught a 15-incher, and he caught one on the same day. The average around like here is probably 11 inches. Started fishing with my dad when I was like real little. Now I fish with my grandpa a lot, and obviously Peyton. Probably come here a couple times a week. We catch a lot of nice fish. And brookies, in my opinion, are probably the prettiest fish, with especially natives with their orange stomach and all that. And they're just kind of a win-win when they fight so hard and are so pretty, and when you take them home, they're pretty good eating. We bought a little camping stove so we can cook up our brookies right on the river sometimes without making a fire, because that could end not so well, and a lot of people these days don't like that. So. And usually we just fry them in tin foil and some butter and a little bit of lemon pepper and garlic. There's another spot up there that we catch fish a lot too. We call it the pond because it sort of looks like a pond compared to the rest of the river. Along with some days like when they're biting and when they're not, sometimes when they are biting, they're either smacking it or they're doing little wimpy bites like chubs. I was fishing with my grandpa, and I caught a 14-incher there, and that was the biggest brookie I ever caught in my life. And I was so excited. I kept saying, I don't think I'll ever catch a brookie bigger than that. And then I come back here and I catch that 15-incher. And the first person I called was him. I had to get it mounted. So my great-grandpa, he tied a lot of flies. He was a big fly fisherman. He made his own fly rods and stuff. And after he passed away, his friend that tied flies got a lot of his fly tying stuff. but then he ended up giving all that stuff to me, and that kind of started my fly tying. I sold some and made like 20 bucks selling them, but I do a lot more of this type of fishing than fly fishing. I can't really find a good spot where the trees and all that will cooperate with the fly line.
We were over at that other spot on the other side of the river, and then there was a wolf, and then it kept coming towards us. It kept getting closer and closer, and then a dog came from nowhere and spooked it away. So we were pretty lucky.
I usually just like to watch my line, and once my line starts taking off underwater, I'll just kind of touch my line to see if I can feel anything. If I feel a couple solid hits, I'll usually open my bail and let it take out line for like 5 or 10 seconds, and then I'll close my bail and wait till it keeps running, and then the line gets tight, and then I usually set the hook right about there. Usually works pretty good. Miss a couple of fish, but not many.
We're gonna go take a walk back in the woods and go to a little creek and hope to catch some.
I think we're probably the only people that know about it. Well, a lot of the garbage there says otherwise.
And we don't like people who litter.
We're coming up on a spot here that we've also caught a couple brookies, and we'll see if maybe they want to cooperate here. It almost looks man-made. Is it a little brookie or a chub?
It is a brookie.
Huh? Oh yeah, a little brookie.
Yeah.
Usually we go here. There's another spot a little bit closer to where we live that we sometimes go, but we usually don't get as many there. We've been fishing together for probably around probably our 3rd summer fishing together. We used to catch northern and walleye and bass at Teal Lake, but that kind of got boring to us, I guess, and we tried fishing a river, which was actually here, and we caught a couple brookies, and we kind of liked how they were so small but fought so hard, and so it's what we do most of the time now. Well, actually trout in general. They just fight so hard.
It's a chub.
Should take its tail. A lot of other spots, like cloudy days are best.
A little drizzle.
Yeah, but here a nice calm sunny day, we usually kill them.
Not kill them.
I like fishing with someone. I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. I wouldn't say it's scary, but
it's boring.
Yeah.
If you're by yourself, you don't have anyone to talk to. So one time me and Gatlin were fishing in our waders, and I just cast it about 2 feet in front of me, and I looked behind me and my dad pulled up, and I got this big fish that just came out of nowhere, about 20 inches or bigger, and we just kept walking towards shore, and we had it on just splashing everywhere. We could see it really good, but we didn't bring a net, so he was just trying to do me a favor, so he picked up the line, and the line snapped, and now the fish lives.
And you have since switched to 6-pound test instead of 4.
I used to have 4-pound line, and now I have 6-pound line. What got me started fishing is when I was little, everyone at my camp used to go fishing, and I never got to go, so I wanted to go. So then one time I asked my dad if I could go, and he said yeah. And then we ended up catching a bunch of them. And that's how I got started.
And I got started, well, my grandma and grandpa have a house on a river that if you go at certain spots you can catch brookies, but right where they live you never would really catch brookies, but you'd catch a lot of big chubs. And I would just sit all like in a lawn chair and just fish with my dad and my grandpa, and that's what kind of got me started. And we would spend a lot of time down at the river catching chubs. And I like fishing because it's like, I like to do what, it might sound like cheesy or something, but I like to do what a lot of other people don't, and a lot of kids at my school and stuff aren't really into fishing. And they're all on their phones and doing other stuff and playing sports. I do like sports, but I gotta say I like fishing more.
Lots of our kids in the school just play video games while we're here fishing.
One time I said like more kids should do this or something, and then I kind of realized they should and they shouldn't, because if they did, we wouldn't have all these fish to catch. But then if they did, then there'd probably be a whole nother generation of outdoorsmen and women and all that. So yeah, that's what got me started and all that.
It's lots about the scenery.
It's always a plus, but just being out here is kind of nice. I used to get like really bored just sitting here and stuff, but we did a lot of walking today, so maybe that helps. But like I said, I would have liked to catch fish. It probably would have spiced it up a little bit, but I guess it's okay that we didn't. Maybe next time. This show is dedicated to my dad, AJ Cartman. Love you. Ooh. Ooh, did you see that?
No.
It was a brookie.
Ooh. The bite's on.
Why, did you have a bite?
Yeah.
We might have to stay a little bit longer.
It didn't seem big. It was just right in front of us, too.